Telling stories is the cheat code to content creation. It allows you to relate and connect to your audience, building yourself a community, making people engage with you, and most importantly, it makes people remember you. But the issue is you're probably not that good at storytelling, so you're watching this video so you can become better and master storytelling so you can build a community of people that relate and engage with your content. And in this video, I'm going to give you 2 frameworks that if you combine together, you literally master storytelling. I haven't seen anyone combine these 2 frameworks together to this day. And the first framework is the iOS framework, which is pretty funny because I'm also a tech creator and you know, iPhone uses iOS, which is like their software. But nevertheless, the first I stands for intention. In every story, there's an intention. You should be able to watch a movie and know what the main character is trying to achieve. That's their intention. And also by the end of this framework, I'm going to give you a random story, me using this framework. Probably it's real, maybe it's not. And you're going to see exactly how this framework works. So the first I is intention. And then the O in iOS stands for obstacle. In the story, you're going to know the main character has an intention. Maybe he wants to go to the park. That's the intention of the story. I tried to go to the park, but there's an obstacle, because if I said I tried to go to the park and I ended up at the park, that's a boring story. It's not even a story. An obstacle is what makes a story. So I tried to go to the park, but there was a bunch of gang members blocking the entrance to the park. Oh, what do you do? Boy. That's the obstacle, right? I'm trying to go to the park, but there's a bunch of gang members blocking the entrance to the park. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that's also a dumb story because I can just, the hero can just turn around. That is true, but this is where the S is really crucial in the whole storytelling aspect, because you could say that about any movie you watch. Like there's an alternative route that they could have done, but with the S, it kind of forces them to finish off their intention. And the S stands for stakes. What is at stake? So I tried to go to the park is the intention. The obstacle is the gang members were blocking the entrance. But what's at stake? Why do I need to go to the park? If the stake isn't big enough, if what's at stake isn't big enough, then I can just turn around. If I needed to go to the park because my friend was in the park and he had an asthma attack and he collapsed and he needed my help, then I need to go to the park. And if there's an obstacle between me going to the park to save my friend's life, I need to overcome the obstacle. And if I don't overcome the obstacle, my friend dies and I'm just a bad friend. That's the iOS framework. You can apply this to anything. I can tell you another story literally off the top of my head. It makes storytelling so flipping easy. Okay, the intention. I want to edit a video for Nero Knowledge. Obstacle. I only have 24 hours. What's at stake? If he doesn't upload this video, he loses his whole entire fan base and I lose a friend and a client. I've got 24 hours to do the video. You know what's at stake. So I'm going to stay up all fucking day to get that video done. Do I do it or not? You have to wait until the end of the story. That's literally what makes a story. And you're probably thinking, oh, I can just run with that framework and go. That's the issue. This is like, you know how to do it, but when you're piecing it together is when you can struggle. And this is where the second framework really comes into play. And I'm not gonna lie, this framework comes straight from the writers of South Park. To summarize, he pretty much said there's a few keywords that are critical to every story, right? The first keyword is and then, the second one is but, and the third one is therefore. Now you can replace these keywords with like, what do you call them? Synonyms? Basically words that mean the same thing, but these are basically the foundations of your story. And then, therefore, and but. If I was to put this into story context for you, the intention will stay the same. The iOS framework will stay the same. So the story could go, I was walking to the park, but this is where the obstacle is introduced with the but, because the but shows that something's going wrong. I was walking to the park, but I noticed the entrance was blocked by some gang members. Such a mad story. The entrance was blocked by some gang members. So I decided to try and find another route. And then I saw that the gang members were scattered all around the park. So therefore, I realized I'd need to defeat one of them to get into the park and save my friend's life. And then you can just go on to the story, and then this, and then this, and then this happened. But maybe there's an maybe there's another obstacle, so you use the word but. but typically you just use the word but when there's an obstacle or there's a twist in the story. And the obstacle and the twist in the story is what really makes a story. No one likes a story where, you know, there isn't problems. If there's no problems in a story, there's no story. That's literally everything that you need to know. And I'm going to put it all together in one last story for you, and you guys can take these two frameworks, combine them, put it into your own content, and then tell amazing flipping stories. And the best part about a story is why people remember you. Typically there's a lesson attached to it if the story is real. So if you tell a real story using this framework, you'll be remembered and there's a lesson attached, so you'll be giving value. With that being said, into the last story. Okay, this story is also a real story, top of my head. I literally took 2 minutes to just kind of put it together. So the intention, I needed to edit a podcast and a few short clips, but my laptop broke from water damage, so I have no device to edit the podcast and the short form videos. That's the intention, and you've seen the obstacle with the but. Now, what's at stake? I really need to get this podcast and short form clips edited, or else I'm going to lose my job and then I'll have no money. So therefore I had to go to Apple and try and fix my laptop that's broken, but they told me it would be £900 to fix. So therefore I couldn't afford that £900, and it wasn't worth it for the laptop I had. So I decided to buy a whole new laptop, but I had to wait 2 days for it to be delivered. Luckily for me, I still had 4 days before this podcast and short clips needed to be done. As soon as the laptop was delivered, I then set it up instantly and started editing the podcast and the short form clips. And then, I don't know, I completed it just about in time as I uploaded it with 1 hour left to go or some shit. That's just a random fucking story, but I literally did this in 30 seconds. And if you're creating content, you can literally write a script and then identify where you're putting the keywords, etc. Hopefully this video helped. I didn't want to make it too long. I just wanted to, I just see a lot of people making story videos, and I'm just like, oh, I reckon if they implement these two frameworks, it would be a whole lot better. But go ahead, knock yourselves out. Oh, and by the way, if you are a creator or an online business owner looking to build their personal brand and generate more leads, there'll be a link in the description to a one-on-one program and to a group program waitlist. So you can join, check it out. There'll be more details in those pages below. Peace.